Publications that had high heel shoes, advertising high heel shoes, and stilettos, the real tall heels. He just had a fetish for those.
And for him, that was a form of pornography. And finally, the prison agreed to start limiting it because this was the thing that his sexual sickness went back to.
In your emails, you can check us out on Twitter at Lars Larson Show, on Facebook, The Lars. Saturday night, some of the movement's most prominent mouthpieces hosted a comedian, a woman who turned out the fact that the White House Correspondents Association invited.
No text, no email, no communications like that. I had to write him a letter. And he agreed to be interviewed. And we thought this was extraordinary because he had never done an interview before. I had heard his name because in 1968 and 69, when he committed his crimes, I was a little kid going to school in Oregon. And you would hear about these crimes, and then as the years went by, they caught him, they convicted him, he went to prison. And over the years, I was curious about him because I'd covered a lot of crime stories as a reporter, but he was a serial killer before the term serial killer was actually invented or began to be used commonly by both the news and by the police. Sitting in a room with Jerome Brudos, knowing that he was a serial killer and had done absolutely horrific things to women and had been caught and convicted, sitting in that room with him for 2 hours was one of the creepiest things I've ever done as a reporter. My photographer said he felt like he needed to take a shower because it was just, the guy was creepily twisted and weird. He would laugh at times that were completely inappropriate. He would laugh about things that were completely inappropriate, and he didn't seem to have any sense of what people would think, that he's talking about murdering, dismembering, and then dumping the bodies of young women attached to a piece of iron into a river to rot like a piece of garbage. And while he's talking about this, he's laughing about things. You walk into every interview with a criminal behind bars knowing they may try to run the same line they've run on everyone else. I'm falsely convicted because everybody I've ever interviewed in prison says they didn't do the crime. And I think most criminals who spent time in prison would tell you, everybody in prison will tell you they did not do what they're in there for. He came very close to admitting to the crimes that he did, but he shied just away from it.
When he died, he was the longest living person in the Oregon State Penitentiary. He'd been there longer than anybody else. And then my attitude changed about him too. I read about his horrible childhood. And it's not that I, wanted him ever released or anything, but I just thought, there's so many reasons why people become the people they are. It's pretty common knowledge that he had a less than wonderful life. So he was a sad guy. I mean, nobody does the things he did and not have something really bad happen, I think. I think serial killers are made, they're not born. But that's just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe people would argue with me, but from what I've read, it takes a lot of humiliation, a lot of cruelty, and a lot of neglect, those three things, to make a serial killer. And then really over the top of all those things. And I think he suffered over the top all those things. Otherwise, I can't believe that people would be like that in this world. I want to know the reasons why. So that's the story I tell myself. Why am I here and those other 4 women aren't? Isn't that an interesting question? I don't know. My twins turned 50 in August. It was like, just went in a heartbeat. You know, I've had this life that those other 4 women didn't get. And I don't think I fully understand that. And probably never will.
Brutus was very proud of what he did. He liked the attention. He liked the media. All the photographs that you will see him in the media, whether walking in the court, handcuffed, not handcuffed, he'd have a little smirk on his face. Brutus, in my opinion, went to his death being on top of his game. He was still smarter than you. He was smarter than us. He outsmarted everybody.
He became somebody who would do purely evil things for no reason other than his own personal sexual satisfaction. Nothing was going to stop him. There was apparently no conscience. There was apparently no remorse. He seemed to me, interviewing him in prison, as this happy-go-lucky guy. He would laugh, he would tell jokes, he would do all these things, and you would imagine, this is someone who knows that he murdered real human beings and made them feel terrified and tortured before their deaths. There was no sense about him that he regretted anything that he had done. Yeah, he was the personification of evil.
I felt as a survivor I had a total moral obligation to say yes to anybody that wanted to talk to me about this, because after all, I was alive and those other people weren't. So my hope in talking about this is that somebody somewhere just might hear how important it is to be aware of your circumstances. I'm glad to be alive today. Just had a doctor's appointment yesterday with my cardiologist, and things are going well. So I have 11 beautiful grandchildren and a wonderful husband. Took me 3 times to get that wonderful husband, but he's wonderful, and a great grandson, and I'm going out and have some more fun today. And I'm doing that. Those 4 girls are riding on my back.
What had his fantasy as a kid about swallowing an eyeball?